Okay, Sinadapi, Nistu Nidaniko, Mokoyo Sokoyi, and it's Wellness Wednesday. Welcome to Native Wellness Institute. We come to you we've been here since March 2020, bringing the Power Hour. And so we come to you today on the 13th of March. Woo! 7 days before the equinox, I think, I'm on Pacific Standard Time right now. And it's March 19th at 8:45 p.m., I do believe. So welcome to Wellness Wednesday. As I said, Nistu Nidaniko Mokoyo Sakoyi. My IRS name is Theda Newbreast, and I'm coming to you live. I'm actually at Suquamish Nation. We've been here for the past couple of days, and inside the House of Awakening, we've been meeting with the American Cancer Society, and we have a lot of grantees, a lot of traditional practitioners, and we also have some knowledge keepers from Suquamish Nation that are Barbara's here. She was just giving us the story. She's a storyteller, but a knowledge keeper. Ever since she was a child, she listened to all of the older people here talk about the creation story, and to talk about how everything was created with the earth and the water, and then was the introduction of animals and whales and salmon and buffalo, and then with the earth and the water, and then there was the creator, Ishtabatapi Yop is how we call creator. They have their words. There's many tribes have different words for creator. So creator felt lonesome, and so started creating many things on the earth and the water, and had two baskets. And these two baskets, as the creator wandered around, in one basket was the people, and another basket was the languages. And so as creator wandered the earth and the water, there was many attempts to travel in different ways. But in one of the baskets, the creator would put down some people and travel around in the earth and the water, and put them around on the globe, around on the earth. And then in the other basket was languages. And so as creator God traveled the land, gave languages traveling the earth and the water, And that's just a snippet. It's a long creation story, but we're coming to everyone's inside, and they're in a talking circle, and they're having a sacred tobacco gona, a gathering of Native Americans. And so I just wanted to come to you live, and just we just finished some, we call them reservation dog skits, and there were skits on each of the teams. They looked at what is the obstacles, or what's in the way of not honoring sacred tobacco and connecting, how tobacco connects people. So even in that creation story, the tobacco, often among tribes, there's a sharing and a bartering. So we're exchanging seeds, and I know I brought seeds from our area, and I was just told by Sharon Day's daughter that the seeds are possibly Anishinaabeg because of the flowering on the end of the. When you have tobacco, there'll be a flowering, and then there's these pods, and they're about as big as your fingernail. These pods have a couple hundred seeds in them, and you can plant tobacco. So I brought that, and there's a gifting. So others have brought tobacco seeds from their area, and everyone here at this gathering, most are growing tobacco either around their house, in their house, out on their land, or as a community development. They're growing sacred tobacco as opposed to commercial tobacco. So anyway, coming to you live. It's just so beautiful here. The sun just came out. When we first arrived, this is the House of Awakening that was built in 2009 to accommodate the canoe journey, which started in 1989. There was a challenge. Bella Bella came down and challenged them to come in 4 years. And the elders cried at that time because they never thought, no canoes had landed at Bella Bella for 100 years. And from those 13 canoes, more canoes came, and then more canoes came, and up and down the Canadian coast and here. And then the Maori people came with their wakas and canoes. And then there's just been a canoe journey of reclamation with protocols for the language, the songs. You have to be clean and sober to participate. There's just been so much reclaiming within families. The canoe journey has brought an interconnectedness and prosperity to all of the tribes here. I'm just so joyful. I'm just a small part. I was invited here with Uncle Gene Tagabon, and I was invited here with other knowledge keepers, and we're just facilitating a gathering of Native Americans. So, hello! So, let's start off. How many of you watched the Oscars last week, eh? You were like, I swear, every Indian and their dog and all of their grandchildren were watching the Oscars. And you know why? Because we just wanted to see the icon, the stardom of one Native American woman who has symbolically showed that you can have a dream as a child, and you can fulfill this dream by being nominated for an Oscar for a movie, Killer of the Fire Moon. And it just, I don't know, my heart is just booming because of pride about what Lily Gladstone and her Blackfoot name is Pitaki, what she has brought to the Indian world. So I'm just so amazed, and so I'm glad I'm living in this time to witness what Lily has brought to young people, to realize you can have a dream for every, as she said in her words, every reservation kid, every urban kid, every Native family, every young person, no matter where they're living, even if you're locked up. You can have a dream and get it together and come out and not be locked up, and have a dream and reclaim through cultural response. And often cultural response is, learn to saying a prayer in your language, learning to sing a song that your ancestors sang, learning to go gather medicine. We're having a lot of teachings of many medicines. Because in some of our areas, people use kinnick to mix. People use the bark of the willow to mix. We're learning about other medicines because everyone has brought these medicines, and we're doing bartering and exchanging inside of this House of Awakening. I just wanted to share with you. We're as these 7 days. Most of you know, we always, Native Wellness Institute, we always talk about the seasonal change, and we're now, raise your hand if you had a kind of a rough winter. Some of us, we went roller coaster. It would be 50 below Fahrenheit, and then a week later it would warm up to 50 above. Then we'd go to 20 below, and then it would warm up to 30. then it would go below 0, and then it would warm up to 60. When I left my home, it was warming up to 50. So we're in that season where there's a lot of ceremony coming up, and it's March 20th, but it'll be March 19th, like I said, Pacific Standard Time, where the equinox, where the earth shifts and will move into spring. I'm just like, okay, spring is sprunging. So what does it mean to get ready for spring? Well, first of all, I don't have to wear a jacket out here. At home, I have to wear wool socks. I have to wear, a fox hat, and I have to wear gloves. And right now, the sun is just shining. So just for a moment, I'm just going to show you what I'm looking at. This is Suquamish land. And I just say territory because there's many villages from all the way up to Bella Bella. We're looking out at the inland coming off of the Pacific Ocean. And this morning, where we're staying at the Clearwater Resort, there was 4 seals. I was with a friend from Sisseton, South Dakota, and she had never seen this kind of beauty. And so we greeted the morning, and we ran into our other sister with the American Cancer Foundation, and was just putting down some tobacco, praying in the water. And so this is where I'm at. And I'm just gonna take you around. That's the House of Awakening. And inside that door, they're starting the giveaway. Everybody's been making gifts, exchanging tobacco seeds. And so, and then some of them might come out and talk with you, but we didn't want to interfere with the group's process because we just wanted to come and talk with you today. So I'm gonna put you back on the stand. And so I'll share a story, and a short story about during the pandemic, because we're now and we've got vaccines and everyone can travel. But for a lot of us in our area, thank you for the hearts. I just wanted to show you exactly where we were and where I was coming to you with Wellness Wednesday and the Power Hour for Native Wellness Institute. At the beginning, remember back at the beginning of the pandemic, Native Wellness Institute, that's where we were coming to you 7 days a week, Power Hour, then 5 days a week, and now we do Wellness Wednesday. But remember what our thinking was. In our area, a lot of us thought, man, we can't travel, so we need to have things around our house or in our house. And so one of the things in our area, and the short story is, I thought, wow, maybe we gotta grow our own medicine. Like grow your own sage, grow your own sweetgrass, grow your own tobacco. And so one of the things that happened in my household is we started growing tobacco. And we were given, often, we go somewhere and we're not, you're given tobacco, but not commercial tobacco, not like Marlboro Red or, some of the other commercials. We're given real sacred tobacco. And so I took some of the seeds and I planted it. And a big green leafy tobacco plant grew. And at the end were white flowers and kind of a yellow flower. And then from that plant, it had pods, and these pods had tobacco seeds, just like this heart sign that I'm making. There's hundreds of tobacco seeds in one little pod about this big. So in growing that tobacco, when I harvest it, and we're saying prayers, because I don't know, like I would get up and just, sometimes, I have personal pipes. I would smoke my pipe almost every day when we didn't have the vaccine, and people Leland Ground was the first one that we lost, but would lose more elders. And um, so when I harvest that plant after it grew and the tobacco seeds came out, is you harvest it at the bottom, and it was like a ceremony, and turn it upside down and let the tobacco leaves dry. And that could be used for your personal pipes, or used in ceremony, or used in putting in the water. A Magishik told us to always put sage or tobacco in the water, especially for the water beings at the fourth level, because they need help. Because in some areas the water is not so good, and we want to make it good again. So the tobacco is sometimes used in forgiveness. You might go to someone and offer them tobacco, like if you have a disagreement or there's something keeping you from good communication, and give them tobacco and say, can we visit? How can we work this out? Because you are important to me. So we might use tobacco for forgiveness. So tobacco or pastaskan, and how we are Blackfoot's called tobacco. We have some that call it asema. We have all these. I've been hearing these names because we just had a skit in which all of the tribes here said the traditional name for tobacco in their language. And man, it was just so powerful, because we came out and there was a regeneration, because tobacco was never meant to hurt or harm. So you have to have that belief in the tobacco, because it's the highest offering to Estebatapio is tobacco. The tobacco in our beaver bundles, our oldest bundle, our beaver bundles, the tobacco in there, and many other, there's 574 tribes. Almost every tribe has a ceremony of using tobacco. And some of it, the pronunciation was tobacco. And that's kind of tobacco. But we're coming to you, the Wellness Wednesday. So think about in the time coming in the next 7 days, as you prepare for the equinox, what kind of ceremony of gratitude, what kind of ceremony of lateral forgiveness, what kind of ceremony of lateral kindness are you going to have with yourself, with your family, with your tribe? I know that we're preparing for the celebration of Lily Gladstone from the Siksikatepi, the Blackfoot Confederacy. So all of our leaders at Siksikai, over from Calgary, up by Gleason, all of our leaders from Kainai at Standoff, all of our leaders from Wabatsa Pikani at Brockett, and our tribal council, our Blackfeet tribal council, has been positively supporting Lily Gladstone, because she's one of us. She's Amskapi Pikani. The blood that runs through her veins is Amskapi Pikani, so she is us. But she's my niece. I claimed her a long time ago, because she was always just so compassionate, so vibrant, and she really believed and loved theater school, loved drama, loved being in film, loved being in raw plays, and now here she is, the first Native American nominated for an Oscar for her role as Molly in Killer of the Flower Moon. So we're having that on the 26th. So you guys are all invited on the 26th of March in Browning, Montana. We're going to be the Blackfoot Confederacy, and Charlene Plume Prairie Chicken has made her Kami Poismanix, her stand-up headdress. We're going to transfer her but for all of her accomplishments in her life, but most recently for her accomplishment in helping us all celebrate that a Native American woman, a female, can be nominated for Best Actress in a film. And so that 26, and we have a new arbor. I don't know how many thousands it can fit, but all of those, the whole Confederacy, as well as the chiefs from Alberta, as well as some of the AFN, the other First Nations is coming, and other tribes. I think some Crows are coming, Northern Cheyenne, Salish Kootenai, Rocky Boy's coming, Chippewa Cree, Ani from Fort Belknap are coming, and we're all going to listen to our immersion school sing, pray. We're going to hear from our dignitaries, then we're going to hear from Lily, and then there'll be a ceremony. And you're welcome to come, and you'll be told. Charlene Plume will direct the MC, who is Jesse DeRozier, and Jesse DeRozier is just one of the badass MCs. Of when not to film during the ceremony, but most of it you can film, and you can pose with Lily. You can get autographs from Lily. There's just going to be a celebration, because in Indian country, it's a very big deal that Lily Gladstone is one of us, and that she's reached this notoriety, telling the untold story of the Osage Nation. The Osage Nation is an untold story, because most who went, even the non-natives, our allies who went to go see this movie, they didn't know about the oil that was discovered on their land. They didn't know that they blew up some of the Osage people so they could steal their land that had the oil on it. They didn't know that they murdered all of Molly's family, almost their entire family, so that they could get the head rights, so that they could get the wealth from the oil on their land. So it was like justified. It's just like, how the missing and murdered today and current was happening then, in 1920 on up, but is still happening today. So we're going to set that aside and talk about, well, what is the positive learning? What is in I'm looking out, and the tide's out a little bit, and I love this part, because we're getting ready. We want to invite you to other healing celebrations. One of the other celebrations that will be happening here June 11th, 12th, and 13th is the Healing Together. It's the third annual, and it's 5 organizations this time. It's White Bison. It's the American Cancer Society joining us. It is Native Dads Network, Native Wellness Institute, and NAFA, which is the Native American Fatherhood and Families Association. So there's 5 organizations coming together in June to heal together. And I think, I'm hearing that we can only register 300. So please register. It's on all of our sites. You can go to the Native Wellness Institute and see where to register. But that's coming up. So we want to invite you to that. All of our participants here, most of them are planning on coming. It's just, I could just feel the sun here. It's just so beautiful. You can breathe and you can smell the fresh air. And earlier, Atstanikiwa was saying, where we were staying, when she woke up, she could smell cedar and the rain. There was rain, but she could smell there's all these flat cedar trees. So you could smell all of the cedar coming on, and it was just so beautiful. So that's one thing that you can attend. And I think right now, Native Dads Network is down in the Pechanga area getting ready for Boys in the Braids. I think Sparrow and White Bison is doing a lot of White Bisons, healing, mapping the positive things about yourself, mapping. I just like how in White Bison, when they take an individual they take a couple or a family or a community, they map and drawing from you, and they put all of it's like the vibrancy. It's almost like what tobacco brings, you know. When you put your tobacco down, good things are, you have to trust in the tobacco. That's what white bison does. I love what Native Dads Network is doing. It's all Native fathers. Some are single, some have partners, and they're raising. The most important thing is being a father to their children. And most of them are clean and sober. Oh, we have our first guest. Okay. I'm going to ask, this is a surprise guest, so I'm going to ask you to come and sit here. And we just like you to introduce yourself. You can look in here and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit why you're here and who you are.
Bonjour, Nyansen Jishkaz Magazine Dotum. My name is Suzanne Nash, and I am here today to learn more about Gona, but also reflecting on the last 2 days. I just wanted to share that the tobacco is the seeds, and I just want to say that we, as humans, we are the seeds, and I want people to walk away with that and thinking that we are the medicine, and we have the little girl inside of us to continue to grow like the Asema plant does and thrive. So, miigwech for that.
So let me ask you a couple questions. Where do you live and where do you come from? Who are you?
Oh, this is podcast training. I live in Minnesota. I'm from Boys Fort Reservation, and I live like north of Minnesota by Chisago City.
Oh, okay. And what have you learned here with the group? What was what kinds of things did you hear that you just kind of said, aha?
Generosity. I learned and thinking about that we need to grow Asema. We need to make sure that that's available in our communities. Learned about, why identity is important. Like I knew that growing up, identity is key to who we are as an Anishinaabe or as Mohawk or as Blackfeet. But the interconnection and working on creating collectiveness.
And why is water important?
Because water is life. We can't live without water, right? Water is sacred. It has a spirit. It feels our vibrations. The waves are the vibrations. We just can't live without it.
Can't live without it. We call it a sweet tepi. What are some of in a sweet tepi, like we're always taught to give a little bit of the water to our ancestors. We pour a little bit of water before we drink. We're always taught to put some tobacco, some Asema for the water at the 4th level, the 3rd level, the 2nd level. And so part of why should we drink water and not drink pop or Starbucks?
I'm a Starbucks fan.
I'm only teasing.
I'm kidding. I do love coffee, but I'm supposed to boycott Starbucks right now. So, I feel like, pop has a lot of formaldehyde in it and has things in it that's not good for us. It's, the sugar, the amount of sugar that's in it. And so again, it goes back to thinking about what we put in our body affects us when we grow older, as we get older. When you're 15, 16, you can eat a Snickers and a pop and get away with it. Oh, now at 54, I can't do that. So, but also thinking about water is thinking about that water has those healing powers in it, those healing energies to help us. So we need to drink that water. That's why we need to protect the environment. That's why we need to pray and make an offering to that water.
I notice everyone's wearing a hoodie t-shirt like you. What is this hoodie about? Are you guys like a gang?
Well, maybe we're more like, what did Lori say earlier? The Godfathers? Something like that. No, so this is Creating Connections. It's a program that's been started to connect tobacco and to talk about tobacco and its teachings. And something Lori said I thought was important, that there's no bad tobacco. Like, even people who smoke are good people, and we need to remember that it's the addiction, and we treat the addiction, not the person.
Ah, okay. So that I just say creating connections,
Connections,
keeping tobacco
tobacco's
sacred.
sacred.
You know, what in your lifetime? I know I've always, when I was sundancing, tobacco was such an important part of that sundancing ceremony. But just in your lifetime, when did you like say, aha, there's something special about this tobacco? What did you hear? Like, how did it come to you that it was something so precious?
So this subject came up not long ago. I was trying to decide where I was in my job. What was I supposed to do? Where was I meant to be? And I heard my mom telling a story one day to some funders that came in.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, she's in recovery. And she said, well, when we were growing up, she did everything by routine. And we did everything routine. And she said that you girls were outside playing. And she said, I yelled for you and it was getting dark and you didn't come. She said, you knew to be in that house by dark. She said, you didn't come. And I was starting to get worried. And she said, all of a sudden I hear your little feet coming up the stairs. And she said, where were you? And she said, you had your little sister by your hand. And I said, well, we were out putting tobacco out for you because we knew you had a bad day. And she was like, that's when I knew. That's when I knew I was where I was supposed to be. And tobacco was always a part of me. And my Aunt Doreen said to me one time when we were getting ready to do this curriculum, she said, it's there, it's always been there, it just needs to be awakened. So you need to. So that's what I thought. And so sometimes when I start to feel like, am I where I'm supposed to be? And then I come back and I'm like, I am. And I'm reminded again today.
Yeah.
This is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. So what have you learned in this Gona? What have you seen? What took place?
Oh, I seen creativity. I seen love. I seen hope. And I seen a way of life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was just sharing with our audience that we come from many different places. We have a Sisseton sister, we have Philadelphia, we have some with an accent from the east, and we have local. So let me just ask you, and it's not to switch from tobacco. Who is your mother?
Oh, geez, make me do this live. Sharon Day. I come from a long genes of very strong cultural women, very grounded in their indigenous. It's like some people might say indigenized. They're very culturally grounded. Grew up, living and working for the community. All of them have helped, worked, done something. So they're all very. To me, they've all been a very powerful part of my life in growing up.
Mm-hmm. When we had dinner the first night, I didn't know who you were. I was just meeting you, and I was just totally impressed with what you were talking about, like baby food. And how can you tell us a little bit about that story? What you're doing with baby food, and why is it important the way that you're making it?
Well, my mom and Doreen wrote this curriculum to reduce the amount of diabetes in our community. And within the curriculum, they talked about, teaching them about, how to eat the right foods, the three sisters, food sovereignty, how to grow your own food. And so we were working with kids from 6 to 9, I believe it was. And Doreen and I had just come back from a training somewhere, and we were driving and we were thinking about this. If we could have this beautiful center in this place that we could do this work in. And I said, and we should start with babies, to reduce diabetes, to start with them before they go from breast milk onto, baby food that doesn't have sugars and preservatives in it. So we went back and we told Sharon, we wrote stuff down and we, bonjour, Megazee. There's a Megazee flying over us right now.
Yes.
Bonjour.
Pita.
Woohoo!
Pita. Yes.
Oh, sorry. Anyhow,
We're both.
Yeah. So when that thought process happened, we came back, we talked to Sharon, and we just said, we told her what we were thinking about, and then I was on this other kick about growing or brewing compost tea brew. Another
Oh,
way
yeah.
to get rid of true green, and to thinking about our golf courses on our reservations and football fields that would be, free of chemicals. And I
Oh,
was
okay.
on that kick, and then Sharon was all happy about the baby food, and we went to meet the board and talked to the board about this plan. And Don Crowfoot said, "I love that." And Sharon said, "Yeah, can you imagine this being in every store?" And I was like, "What about my compost tea brew?" We couldn't start two things. So we did start the baby food, and we grow indigenous foods. We use wild rice, getty squash, blueberries, and we just launched it recently here. And so we're now growing traditional baby food.
Ah,
So, and hopefully we'll have it in every store. But right now it's kind of like business to business.
yeah.
People can order it, and hopefully we'll have it in the stores.
Yeah. So, I was visiting with a lot of sisterhood lately that was talking about the importance of breastfeeding, the importance of cradle boards, the importance of how we take care of our children when they're inside of us. Pregnancy.
Maternal health.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about in your experience? Because this is just a live. This is a live. We're just sharing positive things that we as women. What have we learned? I mean, what have we learned about that kind of stuff that are women's things?
I think one of the things I learned when they wrote that curriculum, thinking about maternal health, is not just about women and how they take care of their body. What I learned, it's also about the men and how they take care of their body. It's the genes. It's not what you do like just when you're pregnant. It's what you do before you're pregnant.
Ah,
That can have an effect
ah,
on that unborn child.
ah. Like in utero, while they're in there, what can
Yeah.
we do? Do we sing to them?
We
Should we?
can sing to them. You can talk to them. Yeah.
Can we put tobacco on our belly button?
Sure. I think if you wanted to, I don't think it would hurt anything.
Well, I just have one last question, and then I'll
Yeah.
is when I
Let
first
me
met
go
you.
from be
Yeah,
like,
no, I just when we sat down to dinner and we're at this 5-star place and we're just visiting, is I felt a really good energy from you, just an authentic energy, and I says, "Wow, she's like my sister." And I didn't know who you were, and I know your mother, but I was like,
everybody knows my mother.
yeah, but I didn't know you, and I'm just so glad that I got to know you,
Oh, thank
that
you.
I got to sit with you, and then I got to see, like we ordered tea,
Yeah, tea.
and then we drank water, and then we had a lot of, and we had that sisterhood, and I knew that you were invited because of tobacco.
Yeah.
I knew that you were invited because you had a lot to offer to the group, and I knew when we had met, everybody, when we asked for a prayer, I mean, and so I guess my question is, God, how do we know when we're supposed to step up to things? Like I get that humbling. How do the sisterhood? How do women know when it's time to step up?
I don't know if you ever know if it's time. I think you just got to do.
Okay,
I mean,
tell us more.
yeah, I think you just got to do it. Because, you know, a couple years ago, I lost my son, and grief came in rolling like thunder. And for the longest time, like I was so angry, and I couldn't even think about picking that asema up at that time, because I was like, why? I went through the whys, and I was thinking I did everything I was supposed to do, and I prayed, and I offered that asema, and but then I realized, like, it was such a gift and such a blessing to be chosen as his mother. To be the gift that he gave me was the gift of my life that changed me as a person. And so I got to thinking that he can still live through me,
Uh,
through my eyes.
uh, Uh-huh.
through the memories. He
Yeah.
can eat through me when I eat.
Uh-huh.
He can pray when I pray.
Uh-huh.
And I just knew that by looking at these photos, what a gift it was, what a gift of life that was. And now I have these photos to remind me forever of that life.
Wow.
And so I had to pick up that asema and say, thank you for that moment.
Ah.
Thank you for that aha.
Ah.
Thank you for bringing that back.
Ah.
So I think in anything, it's not always easy because we go through a lot of grief in our life, and we go through a lot of happiness and lots of blessings. And I think sometimes you don't know if you should stand outside or you should step in or you should be listening. I'm not always good at listening. So learning to practice to do that and just do.
And just
I think
do.
you just got to do. I think you just got to open your heart like they're talking about today,
Uh-huh.
and you just got to do it.
Just got to do it.
You may fail, but that's okay.
I really like that. That it can help us to do, but also help us with their grief and help us with their happiness.
Yes.
Put down the tobacco when you're happy. Put down,
When you're grateful.
Yeah, yeah. I was just, I lost my father 24 years ago, Lori and I. And Lori took care of him till the end. That was was her role. But we got to help.
Yeah.
Our mother and our dad had forgiveness. She cooked him when he could only take one bite of food. It was just such a blessing, like you say, just to have him. Because when I was a kid and he used to drink, I'd always get worried that he would die in the streets or whatever. But he had the most beautiful death, and I'm sharing that with you because when I met you and you started when we were having dinner, when you started talking about your son, you helped me.
Oh.
You helped me because I have a daughter that's out there. She's still alive, but we say the prayers. So one of the prayers I always say, and thank you for reminding, is I always pray that there's guardian angels around her.
Yeah.
Guardian angels around her. Yeah. Oh, look who's coming out here.
Yeah, maybe we'll have someone else. Yeah, so, wow.
This is
fun.
Well, yeah, this is
Practicing.
fun.
I'll let you jump back in here. Make witch.
Good. So we're gonna just take you over here a little bit. Here comes Gene Tagabon. Uncle Gene!
We're going to take a group picture up here.
Okay.
With everybody.
Okay. You want to say hello and then we'll sign up.
With the power hour too, you guys could be joining us. What time is it? That time?
Yeah, we're just winding down.
Hey, power hour people! Good to see you out there. Here at Suquamish out here. Beautiful day. Holy smokes. Yeah, remember you're sacred. You're beautiful. You're beautiful out there. Yeah. Holy. How you guys doing? You doing good? Doing good? Yeah, give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up. You're doing good out there.
Check out Uncle Gene.
Oh,
Check out. Show me your towel. What'd you get here?
We got towel. It's March time, so we got green. This is where the sacred tobacco got green.
Connecting.
We're all going to stand over there.
Okay.
Come on, join us. We're going to take a group picture here. Come on. Yeah, come on, everybody here. You got it?
Yeah.
You got it?
Just got to walk slow.
Okay, everybody. Okay, we're going to take group picture here. You're going to join us here. So put on your, if you're just in your pajamas or anything like that, right here, take good group picture right here. Yeah, here we are. We got to take group picture. All right, here we are. Good to see you all. You guys are beautiful people. Look at it now. So what
We're just still live.
If you guys don't have a spirit animal, Clarence has volunteered.
Here we are live out at the House Awakening. These are all of our knowledge keepers, our knowledge keepers of tobacco. So we're getting ready to take a group picture. So with that, we bring you positive, productive, and proactive stuff. Native Wellness Institute. Each week, we're having our closing ceremony with all of our tribes. And so with that, I'm gonna sign off, and we'll see you next Wednesday.